If you're going to listen to this information so they can work for you, make sure you're being coachable. So I want you to type science, because if you understand this key thing, and it's super easy, okay? Understand that there's a science to attraction. Like, it's like this. And this changed the game for me. Every man has a certain set of buttons. And if you understand how to push the right buttons in the right order, then it unlocks his heart for you. It unlocks his intentions to give you the world, to marry you, to commit to you, to do whatever it is that you want to do. And it makes him feel good. Like, he loves doing it. It's kind of like a phone number, if you would. Right? Like, if you want to talk to your friend, and you back in my day, we had to remember phone numbers. So when we put a phone number in, that's how we got our friend. Nowadays, you press a button and you can get your friend. Well, you can narrow this down to be so easy, where by one button, just understanding what it is that I'm teaching you, you can trigger any man that you want to pursue you and be glad that he's pouring into you, that he's making you happy. But before I teach you that, I need to teach you this, ladies. There are two types of men. Put 2 types in the chat. There are 2 types of men. Because you don't want every man to want you, baby. I promise you don't. No, ma'am. You don't. There's men that are in their masculine energy, and there's men that are in their feminized energy. Feminized energy means that he is at a balance with the balance of his natural energetic frequency. If you understand that everything, no matter what it is, every physical thing, everything vibrates to a frequency. That's why it looks the way it does. That's why it self-expresses the way it does. Everything vibrates to a certain frequency. And masculine energy balance is 70% in his masculine energy, no more than 30% in his feminine energy. For a woman that's balanced, she's 70% in her feminine energy, 30% in her masculine energy. This is what allows them to be at their peak performance, their peak spiritual energetic strength, their vibrational strength when it comes to their body, health, everything else. And the way he moves is determined based on where is he at? Where is his balance at? Based on his masculine energy to his feminine energy. If you don't believe me, ma'am, look in your clothes. And look at the fact that you got breasts and he does not. The reason why that is because we are biochemically very different. His brain is different than yours. His biochemistry is different than yours. And the way he falls in love, baby, is different than yours. I want you to put in the chat, men are not like us. And I don't care what language, around what part of the world you're in, put it in your language. Men are not like us. If you understand that, then you're going to move differently. You're going to expect differently than what you have been when you've been dating. Because what sets women up for disappointment and what sets them up for heartbreak is when they date a man expecting him to think, love, and act like you. He does not. And you don't want him to, baby. You absolutely don't want him to. So if you understand that, then you understand that you want a man that's in his masculine energy. Let me tell you what I found when I was dating these kind of men. So the men who are in their feminine energy, you know him, okay? Because you can feel it. He feels draining. It feels like you're having to prove yourself. It feels like you're having to wait for him to take action. It feels like you're the one that's over giving. It's like you're wondering where you stand. It's just very tiring. How many people know what I'm talking about? How many people have dated this feminized man that I'm talking about? Say I. And doesn't it make you just want to like, it's the most frustrating thing. Like, who raised you, sir, ma'am, sir? It's so draining. It's so frustrating. God forbid you have a child or marry this man. Oh, then good luck, ma'am. Because you're going to be doing everything. You're going to be thinking of everything. You're going to be having to raise the kids by yourself. It's just too draining. And when you're with a man like that, it drives you into your masculine energy. And when you are driven in your masculine energy, ma'am, it decreases your estrogen. It raises your cortisol. So then now your cortisol is your stress hormone. Now you walking around stressed out. And now that you walking around stressed out, it's increasing the risk of hypertension, diabetes, heart disease, ma'am, you're dying faster from choosing the man that through polarity is off balance, out of balance with you. He is in his feminine energy. You want a man who's in his masculine energy. And you know a man who's in his masculine energy. They are so much better. They're so much easier to date. They're the kind of men that gladly will plan a date. They will gladly pay for the date. They are a man that has some goals and some plans, and like he likes doing things for you. He does not mind taking out the trash. He loves paying the bills. He's not saying any foolishness like, what do you bring to the table? And he sure as hell isn't saying nothing about 50-50. He ain't saying that. It makes him feel good to pour into you and provide for you. I mean, when you attract a masculine men are more likely to be successful. They're more likely to be healthy. They're more likely to be the kind of men that allows you to sit safely in your feminine energy. And it was these masculine men that were buying me the houses, buying me the car, buying me the tickets, buying me shopping sprees and everything else. And in order for you to attract this masculine man, I need you to hear me. You got to understand the science of attraction, and you got to move differently. So I'm going to break down the science of attraction, but I'm also going to bring into what interrupts you, and so that you understand like what is it that can interrupt you from taking advantage of this science of attraction and why it's not working for you. Why you are constantly frustrated. Why are you getting ghosted? Why are men not committing to you? Why are men cheating on you? Why are men love bombing you? Why are men not marrying you? Or if they do marry you, they're not fully committed to you. They're not willing to be the kind of man, to be the kind of leader in your life. When you unlock this, then you unlock a world of making your life so much easier when it comes to love. Here's what I need you to understand. The kind of men that you attract. Now, I want you to take a breath and let this sizzle in your spirit before you get mad at me, because some of you guys aren't going to want to hear it. You're going to want to tune out when I tell you this. Okay? And when I learned this, it was another game changer. The kind of man that you are attracting is based on your love archetype. Now, I created the 5 love archetypes after working with over 180,000 women. And after studying this for 2 decades, I started to realize that there's patterns with everything. And there's definitely patterns when it comes to love and how women were experiencing dating, love, relationships, and all of that. And what I found is that every woman falls in one of the 5 love archetypes. You're either a ruby, an amethyst, a citrine, an onyx, or a diamond. The ruby is that type A woman, make it happen woman. She's that take charge. She's usually in a leadership position. She's usually the person that everybody in the family leans on. She keeps her circle tight. She's the type of woman that does not like to be rejected at all. If she's even senses a piece of a man about to reject her, she will run far before he's able to reject her. The ruby oftentimes attracts the narcissistic men and man babies. The second archetype is the diamond. The diamond is the woman who is insecure. She might be beautiful. A lot of times she's like a model and she got it going on, but she still doesn't feel worthy. She doesn't feel enough. She doesn't feel pretty enough, smart enough, this enough, that enough. She oftentimes dates down. And because she dates down, she thinks that dating down will increase her chances of being able to attract a man or a man that's really into her, but it's not. If you notice, those men end up being the men that mistreat you, take you for granted, cheat on you. And the worst thing to happen is to be cheated on by a man who's uncute, ma'am. By a man who you really wasn't really considering, but because he kept knocking and he kept trying, you was like, okay, fine, let's just give it a chance. Okay, that's the worst kind of man. But I find that the diamonds, oftentimes, they're settling because they don't know that they are not a piece of coal. They're actually a rare jewel. And then the next archetype is the onyx. Now, you might find that you overlap multiple archetypes. You might be a ruby amethyst. You might be a onyx diamond. Like, you can see yourself in multiple archetypes. However, you still have a primary archetype and a secondary archetype. And we help you to determine that when you take the love success assessment. Now, for the onyx is the empathic woman. She can feel people's pain. She can sympathize with people. She often gives people the benefit of the doubt. And Onyx is oftentimes a people pleaser with people that she really cares about. And she oftentimes lacks boundaries. So that means that she often attracts men who are emotionally unavailable or physically unavailable. Married men love Onyxes because all he has to do is give her a sob story. First of all, he will lie to her and not even tell her about the wife. And then he will sneak up on her that somehow you will find out that he's married, and then he'll give you some sob story that, you know, my wife's a bee, she trapped me, I got kids, and all the excuses, and then you start to feel sorry for him, and then you compromise. Narcissists also love an Onyx too because it's easy to manipulate an Onyx, because again, an Onyx, if she knows that she would never do anybody wrong, if she would never lie to somebody, manipulate somebody, gaslight somebody, she also expects that nobody would ever do the same thing to her. Like me, I never expected that a man would actually marry me while being married to somebody else. But there's crazy men in the world. So for an Onyx, she can be taken for the ringer by men who don't have good intentions. And then the third archetype is the amethyst. The amethyst is the woman who experienced sexual trauma, usually in childhood, and it has left a gaping hole of pain, and a gaping hole that makes her feel unsafe. So she seeks men who makes her feel safe. The only problem is that these are usually like passionate relationships. It usually feels like it is twin flame-ish. However, it is your toxic traumas that are attracting those kind of relationships. So amethysts get the bottom of the barrel type of men. They do them completely dirty. And for a citrine is the woman who oftentimes is abused. She grew up in an abusive household and or she was abused. So she tends to attract men who mentally, emotionally, or physically abuse her. Those are the love archetypes. And based on your love archetypes, it determines how you're going to date based on the science of attraction. And it determines what kind of men that you're going to attract. So that means that, ladies, if you've been attracting like the same man with a different face, do not blame yourself, blame the tools, because you haven't had the tools on how you can rewrite that so that you can start to get different results in your dating life. But when you are able to heal those love blocks and rewrite your subconscious mind, which is not hard when somebody teaches you how to do it, then you are now able to retrain your mind so that you are attracted to healthy relationships that fill your soul. Now, here's the process of dating according to the science. And again, this is super easy. I'm going to break this down into 3 steps. There's 6 steps of every phase of a relationship. However, when you break it down, this is how you trigger a man's vasopressin. Okay? Are y'all ready? You want to trigger CAP. Curiosity, anticipation, polarity. If you just remember that, just remember CAP, curiosity, anticipation, polarity. Now, this is the science behind it. This is the science behind CAP. Okay? In the beginning, when a man sees you, when he sees you, you have triggered his testosterone. That is his male hormone. That is his sex hormone. That means that, ma'am, you are sexable. Okay? That means that he wants your honey pot, ma'am. Okay? Your kibbles and bits. Your fruity pebbles, ma'am. That's what he wants. Okay? He wants your moon pie. Okay? Your peach cobbler. That's what he's going for. If in your mind you're like, oh my God, this is like the Notebook, this is my soulmate, this is like the rarest love ever, then you are going to set yourself up for heartbreak. I don't care how long you think you know this man. Okay? He wants your sugar scrub, ma'am. That's what he wants. And when you understand that biochemically, then you will date accordingly. You never, ever, ever, ever sleep with a man who's not your man. Ever. That's the first thing. However, if you are the anxious amethyst, then you're looking to feel safe. So if a man puts up the facade that he can make you feel safe, then you will use sex in order to get a man. And you will sleep with him too soon. And if you are the ruby, you will do this push and pull. And you may start off in your feminine energy, but as soon as it gets scary, you're going to go right into that masculine energy. And that masculine energy is going to drive away the masculine man. But it will keep and attract that feminized man who's going to frustrate the heck out of you. And if you are a diamond, you're going to feel like you're not good enough, and you're going to wear that on your shoulder. And men can see your archetype, baby, before you do. Even when you don't know what your archetype is, trust and believe that man knows your archetype. He can see your insecurities, he can see your wounds, he can see your traumas, and he can see your vulnerability. And this is the reason why it's so important. Even if you think you don't need to heal, just check first. Check it. And make sure that that archetype isn't drawing to you more trauma, more heartbreak, more Build-A-Bears that don't have good intentions. So when he is drawn to you because your honeypot looks good to him, ma'am, he's going to say all the right things. Now, what's happening to you? And this is so important, and this is the reason why so many women get their heart broken. A man is designed to fall slow, biochemically. He has been born, designed, and created to fall slow. Women have been born, designed, and created to fall fast. What does that mean? That means that when you meet a man who smells good, when it feels like there's chemistry, when he is attractive to you, ma'am, when he is looking all good to you, your mind, your body is producing oxytocin. Oxytocin is a bonding hormone that a mommy produces when she has a baby. It causes her to strongly bond to her baby so that she wants to take care of this living being who's just taking a bunch of energy and a great deal of demand from her. So you're producing that upon sight. You start to produce that. And when you're producing that, you're also producing dopamine and norepinephrine. And what the norepinephrine is doing is it is shutting down your frontal lobe, and it's also causing you to lower your inhibition. Like, you're more likely to trust this person who hasn't earned your trust yet. You are more likely to give this man the benefit of the doubt when he hasn't earned it yet. Well, that sets you up for danger. Especially, and listen, this is really going to piss a lot of y'all off. Y'all really going to jump off with this. Watch. One of the worst dating practices that a woman can do nowadays, in this dating age, with all these Build-A-Bears running around in the wild, is do dinner on the first date. Based on the science and the statistics. Doing dinner on the first date actually sets you up to trigger your oxytocin faster, to shut down your frontal lobe faster, to produce more of that norepinephrine, to lower your guard faster. Why? Because you're usually more likely to drink on a date. Second, you're in a romantic environment. He has more opportunity to talk and be in your face too soon, too fast. And then on top of that, you're eating, and that's releasing its own different dopamine responses. And then on top of that, it's easy for you to be seduced. The environment is, the light is dimly lit. That's releasing melatonin, and that has its own reaction. There's so many different reasons why you should not do dinner on the first date. Because if you are dating with intention and wisdom, you are dating understanding what your own limitations and your own weaknesses are. And you are dating understanding that I need to fall slow as possible. Because the way to a man's heart is through time. Period.